Few students are still joining. So importance of chemistry can be seen in one glance. First is food manufacturing. Food manufacturing and preservation. In this, we use many preservatives like M paraben, P paraben, sugar, salt. Many chemical preservatives are used. Okay. We use preservatives. Then it has use in cosmetics and tropical medicines. Tropical medicines are the medicines which we apply on the skin. Then drugs. Now there is a small difference between medicine and drug, okay, which we will learn in the last chapter of class 12th, that how drug is different from medicine. Then in making fertilizers, in your book, some drugs which are given are AZT, azithromycin, cisplatin. So in small word, if I want to say, then medicine is used for curing or prophylaxis. Prophylaxis means preventive medicine. Okay, prophylactic medicine means these are prophylactic chemicals which is used for preventing ourselves from disease or to cure disease once we are attacked. But drug does not cure a disease. Drug gives us relaxation. If we have a pain due to fracture of bone, then drug will help to kill the pain, but not to join the bones. But calcium supplement will be a medicine. So this is the difference between medicine and drug. Then fertilizers are there like NPK, nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium salts. Okay. DAP, diammonium phosphate. Okay. Then agricultural chemicals like weedicides, DDT, dichlorodimethyl, trichloroethane, dichlorodimethyl, trichloroethane, DDT. Okay. So these are agricultural medicines. It has use in leather industry. It has use in making dyes, dye and color. So if it has use in dye and color, then it has use in textile industry also, wherein lot many synthetic fibers are made, like nylon is synthetically made, dacron synthetically made, polyester is synthetically made. So it has importance in synthetic fibers and textiles also. Then it has use in metallurgy, extraction of metal, okay, manufacturing of machines, coins, jewelry, then it has importance in getting energy. How? By photovoltaic cell. Using photovoltaic cell, we get energy. Using coal, we get energy. Coal and petroleum. Coal, petroleum. Once I am saying petroleum, I also meant to say CNG and LPG also. Then by nuclear fuels also, like uranium. It has used in electronics, like LED is made, diode is made, triode is made, semiconductors. So it has use in every sphere of life. So chemistry has use in every sphere of life. Now this picture is so good that I'm going to put it in Facebook also. People will love to see it. Use of chemistry in every sphere of life. Not only this, even in religious practice, the incense sticks, the perfume is used. That is also from chemistry only. So I'm sending this screenshot to Preeti ma'am as of now. So in this way, I have summarized this whole uh, paragraph of this book. This paragraph which we were discussing, I have summarized here. Next, nature of matter. For nature of matter, we will have to go back to class 9th topic. Is matter around us pure and matter in our surroundings? So again, we have to revise a little bit of solid, liquid, and gas. And today I will tell you a little bit more about plasma and Bose-Einstein condensate. So there are three states of matter which we had seen so far. But as we will grow older, you will get to know that there are 7 states of matter. So today we will discuss about 5 states of matter. Okay, 5 states of matter. One is solid, liquid, and gas. Then there is one State of matter called as Bose-Einstein condensate and plasma. Solids are rigid. Now, when I say the word rigid, I mean to say that it does not change its shape and size. Means shape and size does not change. Shape and size does not change easily. Liquids are fluidy. That means they keep on flowing. They keep on flowing. And gases are highly fluidy. They move with high kinetic energy. Now, second point is its reason why it is so. It is because interparticular force of attraction is high. Interparticular. I am not saying intermolecular because particles can be molecule, can be compound, can be atoms, and can be ions also. So I'm saying interparticular force of attraction is maximum, and here interparticular force of attraction is least, and here interparticular force of attraction is lesser than solid but more than gas. What are Bose-Einstein condensate? Sir, what is the definition of fluidity? Okay. Whenever in English you will find that some et is there, that means it is talking about ability. Okay. So fluidity means ability to flow.
So transitional kinetic energy is least in solids.
Okay, I will tell you about transitional kinetic energy. So this is ability to flow. this sounds like a big jargon, but it is a simple vocabulary. Transitional means transaction, means from one body to another. Transitional. Kinetic energy, you said?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So in gaseous particle, what happens? They keep on moving from one point to the other. So when they move, at that time, what they do? They shift their kinetic energy onto the other. So as a result, none of the molecules come at rest. They keep on colliding with each other. So shift of kinetic energy of one molecule with that of the other molecule is called as transitional kinetic energy. Now, if it is a box and if there are a number of gaseous particles here, and if we provide heat to this corner, the gas will not expand in a particular zone. The gas will expand everywhere because the kinetic energy which this molecule is getting due to the heat, okay, due to the heat is used to do work, and the work is that the particle is moving, and when the particle is moving, at that time it is getting kinetic energy. So half mv square can be proved that it is equal to 3 by 2 kT. That means it is temperature. If we increase temperature, then half mv square will give this much of kinetic energy. Sorry, this much of temperature will lead to this much of kinetic energy.
So K is constant.
K is Boltzmann constant. K is Boltzmann constant. Boltzmann constant means gas constant divided by Avogadro number. And gas constant is R. R is
0.0831.
Yes, joule per Kelvin or 0.0812 liter atm per mole per Kelvin. So when you divide this by Avogadro number, that means how much of gas constant is there per mole of gas. Okay. So see, its unit will become what? K's unit will be joule per Kelvin and its unit will be Kelvin. So Kelvin and per Kelvin will get cut and see it will become joule. So it can be proved in thermodynamics chapter. What happens in IIT and all, interplay of chapters take place. Now see, we are studying here first chapter. Then I got a question, transitional kinetic energy. So to make you understand how heat can transfer kinetic energy to one molecule and one molecule can collide to give kinetic energy to the other molecule, I had to take the help of thermodynamics. And to make you understand what is thermodynamics, I have to take the example of gas laws. Okay. So there is an interplay of chapters in physical chemistry. This is a good thing. I
So
hope
is interparticular force of attraction potential energy?
force and energy is different. So both cannot be equated. Both cannot be equated. Force and energy both are different things.
So transitional kinetic energy will be least in solids.
Yes, because they don't transit. There is no movement. The kinetic energy in the solid particles is least. They only oscillate at a very small range. At a very small range, they oscillate. But gas molecules, they move at a long distance with a very fast speed. Gas molecules
Sir,
move like this. And solid particles, they transit very slowly. The distance of transition is so small that to our naked eyes, it feels that it is not moving at all.
sir, on applying pressure, if we liquefy a gas, then the transitional kinetic energy decreases.
So what you are doing, you are decreasing the temperature and increasing
sir.
pressure.
Increasing, yes, sir. Increasing pressure, decreasing temperature.
Okay, so in that case, what will happen? Transitional kinetic energy will become lesser, and at first the particle will become liquid, and then it may become solid depending upon its critical temperature and pressure. Now, what is critical temperature and pressure? Critical temperature and pressure is a property of a particular particle to get liquefied on increasing the pressure and decreasing the temperature. Like carbon dioxide can become dry ice. You know, carbon dioxide can become liquid also, and carbon dioxide can become dry ice also. All right. But then nitrogen can only and only become liquid, but it cannot become solid. Okay, so nitrogen gas, when it is liquefied, now when you know what is boiling point, it boils at minus 19 degrees C. Imagine boils at minus 19 degrees C, nitrogen gas boils. Means its rate of evaporation is equal to rate of condensation. So when you decrease the temperature, then particle comes close to each other. And when you increase the pressure, then also the particles comes closer to each other. So as a result, if you will see the kinetic energy, half mv square is equal to 3/2 kT. So if you decrease temperature, kinetic energy will become lesser. And temperature can be related with pressure also. Temperature can be related with pressure also. There is a formula. The more you will ask me questions, more interplay of concepts will be there. Now, so far I told you one formula. I don't know why I don't forget. Half mv square. Moment somebody asks me a question, everything gets recalled. 3/2 kT. Now there is one formula called as P1 V1 by T1 equal to
Charles.
yes P2 V2 by T2, Charles law. Another is PV is equal to nRT, and T can be written as PV by nR. So it can be related. I can write this as 3/2 K, and instead of T I will write PV by nR. If I do
So I
so,
have a question.
yes.
So that is not Charles' law, that is gas equation.
It is not Charles' law. It is combined gas equation. It is not
So
Charles'
P1
law.
V1 equals to P2 V2 is
Yes.
Charles.
That is Boyle's law. That is not even Boyle's law. That is a formula which is derived from the Boyle's law. Okay. So this is actually a combination of two formulas.
Combination of both. Yes.
Yeah, P1 V1 equal to P2 V2, and P1 by T1 equal to T2 by T2.
V1 by T1 equals to V2 by T2.
Sorry. Yes. V1 by T1, correct. V1 by T1, this is Charles' law. V1 by T1 is equal to V2 by T2. And now when we combine these two things, then we get this equation. So in this way, we can relate one concept with the other. Any other question? Please tell us the difference between rigidity and elasticity. Okay, it is quite a physics question, but I can take the example, and a very interesting concept will also be there. Now tell me, which is more elastic? Which is more elastic? Iron, a piece of iron, or a rubber band? Which is more elastic?
Piece of iron.
Piece of
Iron.
iron.
Yes. So what we think elasticity is that stretchability, it is not. So elasticity is a term which is used in physics, which we study in, say, the chapter which is there related with Young's modulus of elasticity, if I can recall well. I'm not a physics person. So elasticity is expressed in terms of Young's modulus. And I think Young's modulus of elasticity is given
So
by
formula.
y is equal to delta L, change in the length when we stretch it, divided by the length when it is at stretch, when it is at rest. So this is a kind of a ratio. Okay. And rigidity is what? Ability. Rigidity is the ability to retain its particular shape and size, okay, at a higher force. So more rigid a object will be, more elastic physically it will be. So that is the relation and the difference between rigidity and elasticity. Can I make you clear? Okay. So this we will study in states of matter. Okay. It will again come in kinetic theory of gases, states of matter. Interplay of this will be there. And the first chapter, there is a reflection of all the chapters there. So this chapter is interesting. That's why many teachers omit this first chapter, but this first chapter is good. Okay.
Sir, is energy equals to pressure into volume?
Yes, it can be. Work is equal to pressure into volume, and work is equivalent to energy. How? Say, for example, there is a piston. And this cylinder, this is a piston, just like a syringe or a pitchkari. And here gaseous molecules are there. Now, when it is pressurized downward, then say it changes a position from here to here, and say this length is L. And say this area is A. If we know the radius of the base, we can write it as pi r square, else we can write A. Now, if some force F is applied on it, so work will be is equal to force into displacement. But force can be written as pressure multiplied by area, isn't it? Pressure is equal to force by area. Pressure is equal to force by cross-sectional area, this area which we have taken here. So I can write force is equal to pressure into area into the change in the length. The change in the length. Now, in a cylinder, the area multiplied by length will give the volume of this space. So I can write work is equal to pressure into volume. And of course, it is also equal to energy. How? When we do work on the system, then system gains energy. When system does work, then it gives out energy. Excuse me. Huh? Hello. सर मैं आपको 9:30 बजे कॉल करूं? Okay. Is it clear now?
Yes.
That
Sir.
how it can be proved? It can be proved. All right. So, is there any other question, or should I go to BEC, Bose-Einstein condensate? So in 1920, there was one Indian scientist. His name was Satyendra Nath Bose. Okay, he proposed that if gases at a very low density are cooled, then they come in a state of matter which is called as Bose-Einstein condensate, which later on a team of scientists proved it materialistically. What Satyendra Nath Bose did was more of philosophy. It was more of philosophy. Bose, Satyendra Nath Bose and Einstein, both in the same decade, same year, they proposed that if gases at a very low density they are cooled, then they come closer and they form Bose-Einstein condensate. Okay, so these are neither liquid nor gas, somewhere in between liquidity and gas-like nature. So this was philosophically proposed that this can be, but some particles were discovered by a number of scientists, and all together, all those scientists got Nobel Prize in the year 2001. Imagine, can you see the difference? In 1920, Satyendranath Bose as well as Albert Einstein, they philosophically proposed that if gases at very low density, very low density, they are cooled, then they do not become liquid, neither they remain a gas. They come in a state of matter, which can be called as Bose-Einstein condensate or condensed gas. They behave like condensed gas. We can't call them as a liquid, but they are condensed gas. Okay. At the same time, now at that time, materialistically, this kind of gas was not proved. But later on, in 2001, I don't remember all those name of scientists. Like many European names are there together. Okay, you can search it maybe somewhere. So in 2001, Nobel Prize was given to a number of scientists together to materialistically prove that yes, Bose-Einstein condensate does occur. And plasma, you all have seen. What is plasma? Nowadays, we have got this television called as LED, LCD, liquid crystal display, light emitting diode was there. Now, earlier LCD was there, then LED came, and before that, color TV was there, in picture tube used to be there. In that picture tube, plasma used to be there, plasma. So not only there, somewhere else also, I'll tell you where. In plasma TV, some gases in picture tube in our era, like say when we used to see Ramayana and Mahabharata at that time, we used to get black and white and color television. So there used to be a picture tube. In that picture tube, a gas used to be filled in. So due to electricity, these gases used to get charged and they used to behave like a pattern of gas giving some pictures. So that was like, plasma. So plasma is high energy gas particles. High energy gas particles emitting light. Moment I say this, you should say then, is sun at plasma state of matter? Are stars at plasma state of matter? I would say yes. So sun is a plasma. Stars are also plasma. They are hot gases giving out light. Okay. Now there is one more state of matter called as black hole. Black hole, you might be knowing what black hole is. How many of you know what black hole is? Raise your hand. What is black hole? Any general awareness? Any idea? Means ever if you have heard.
Anything passing there, even light.
Correct. Yes. So this much of knowledge is also enough for understanding what black hole is. Just like we have our age, similarly sun also has some age. Okay. So currently our sun means our star, the star which we call as sun, it star has some age. So our star, which we call as sun, is at a young stage. So what will happen? There can be a supernova stage. In supernova stage, what will happen? All this plasma will get diffused. Okay, there can be an explosion due to increase in the heat, and all this plasma can get diffused in the atmosphere, in the universe. Okay, and then the particles inside, the atoms inside, that can attract each other, that can attract each other uh, because of the loss of the hot gas. When the hot gas will not be there, then the particles remaining inside, that can solidify and can become highly dense object. Means its density will be even more than iron, more than anything, highly dense particle. Okay, and when it will be so dense, at that time it will become a uh, pulsating star. Pulsating star means it will give out certain waves in the form of pulse, some waves in the form of pulse. So a few pulsating stars are realized to be there in our universe. Okay. Again, slowly and slowly, this pulsating star can become even more smaller object, and its density will be so high and mass will be so high, but size will be so less that its uh, ability to attract anything will become very high. You know, the gravitational force will become very high, and what it will do, anything which will pass nearby it, like any other small celestial body, any energy nearby will get attracted. Okay, and since light will also get attracted towards the center, towards the center of that black hole, so that object will not look luminous. It will not look luminous. It will look like, everywhere light is there, but somewhere at center, somewhere in the universe, light will not be there. So wherever such kind of uh, non-illuminating zone will be seen, that will be considered as black hole. So there are a few black holes, there are many stars, there are many sun-like objects, and these stars are at various stages. Okay, so if you search little bit about astronomy and all, deep sky photography and all, you will come to know. So astronomy is not my field of interest. Okay, so this much I know. I don't know more about astronomy. I know only this much. Okay, so you can dig the matter deep, and you can find out how many black holes are there nearby, which is the nearest black hole. These are the interesting questions. Which is the nearest black hole? Which is the nearest pulsating star? Okay, when will our sun become a black hole? After how many years our sun will become a black hole? Okay, so all these things you can search as interesting facts, and you can tell me in the next class. So this was the states of matter. I am done with the states of matter. Now I can go to the next page if you allow me.
Yes.
Okay. A few points are still left in this, but these points are silly points. If interparticular force of attraction is maximum, obviously interparticular space will also be less. Compressibility will also be less in case of solid. Compressibility will be very high in case of gas. Okay. All right. Now, what is the fate of learning states of matter? What is the fate? What ultimately you're going to do in life after reading this? Those who will take up engineering, they will learn aerodynamics. And to learn aerodynamics, you have to learn solid dynamics and fluid dynamics. Like when a solid aeroplane will pass through the fluid of air, then what kind of material will it be made with? Okay, so 3-4 books which you will have based on the solid, liquid and gas in future, maybe after 2 years when you will be in your BTech first year, then you will be reading about first rigid dynamics, how rigid body moves, fluid dynamics, how fluid resists movement of solid. Even if you become a mechanical engineer, you have to study this, not only a nautical engineer, because the windmill also works on the principle of rigid dynamics and fluid dynamics. The submarine works on the concept of rigid dynamics and fluid dynamics, and then this together will have its application in aerodynamics. If you take up aeronautical engineering or specialization, and after that, what I was talking about, rigid dynamics, fluid dynamics, aerodynamics, and there's one more topic. It just flashed in my mind. I forgot. Yeah, strength of material. So depending upon how many passengers will be carried, what kind of aeroplane you are making, what kind of aeronautical object you are making, if you are making a hand glider, or if you are making a parachute, if you are making a chopper, if you are making a fighter jet. So what kind of material can be used? Strength of material. Okay, material engineering you have to study here. So this solid, liquid, and gas in chemistry is going to have a great use in engineering later on. So do not avoid this. Next is so now matter they have distributed as mixture and pure compounds. Pure compounds are elements and compounds. This we are discussed in the first chapter. Mixtures are homogeneous and heterogeneous. I had also discussed about how solid becomes liquid, liquid becomes gas, and sublimation. That means interconversion of gas into solid and solid into gas. Okay. So all these I can make you understand by taking some example, some question. Recall the concept. How can you separate oxygen and hydrogen from H2O? Quickly. If you can tell me yes, if you cannot tell me,
Electrolysis.
huh?
Electrolysis.
Oh, very good. Electrolysis. So this is a chemical method, isn't it? That means H2O is a molecule, not a mixture. So it is a pure substance. Now, if acetone is mixed with water, then how will you separate it?
Slowly boiling it.
No. Fractional distillation. At this stage, by being my student, you should not use the word boiling so generously. We will say warming, boiling, and evaporating. These are synonymous, but they sound like synonymous, but they are not synonymous. Warming is always below boiling point, and evaporation is always below boiling point. Evaporation is maximum at boiling point, and evaporation cannot become faster than boiling point. Okay, so fractional distillation is done when two liquids are completely miscible, completely soluble, and their difference in the boiling point is around 25 degrees C. Third, mixture of colors.
Chromatography.
Beautiful. Mud and water.
Filtration.
Filtration. This is heterogeneous. This is homogeneous. Okay. Cream from milk.
Centrifugation.
Okay. Platelets from blood.
Centrifugation.
Ultracentrifugation. RBC, WBC platelets, they all have different sedimentation coefficient. They settle at different layers. So that means this part is known to you. We can move forward again. So you know what is mixture, what is compound, what is molecule. Properties of matter, measurement. Okay, now we have come to measurement thing. Fine. So this thing will help you in your physics also. This part is there in physics also, first chapter, and chemistry also. If we don't measure anything by standard units, then measurement will become different in different places. Okay, like say, if I say hand span, if I use hand span to measure length, then a child's hand span can be smaller than an adult's hand span. So this is not standard. So standard methods of measuring is centimeter, meter, millimeter, and all. Okay, so there are two standards. One is CGS system, another is MKS system, and third is FPS system. This MKS system is also like standard international system. Also like, but not same. C stands for centimeter, gram, and second. Length, mass, and time is measured in centimeter, millimeter, and second. In MKS, meter, kilogram, and second. And here, foot, pound, and second. So foot, pound, and second is still used in UK in many places. Foot also we use in our country too. In civil engineering, foot is used in measurement of land area, flats, carpet area, foot, feet, all these things are used. Okay, but for general physics, we use standard international method a lot. Now, this is the methods of measurement. These are the units of measurement, and these are fundamental units. Okay, these are fundamental units. Fundamental units means
Basic units.
basic units. From where other units are there, and other types of units would be derived units. Like if I say length, it is fundamental unit. But if I say speed, so for speed it will be say meter per second. So it is derived unit, derived from length and time. So two types of units are there. Now, how each of the units are defined, definition of each units. We'll try to understand the meaning of each units nicely. And once we understand, we will be able to write also. Am I going very fast? क्या मैं बहुत fast पढ़ा रहा हूँ?
No, sir.
अरे ये थोड़ा फर्स्ट चैप्टर सिली सा है ना, ये पहले से पढ़ा हुआ चीज है, इसलिए इसको थोड़ा रन थ्रू ही कर रहे हैं. ये इसमें क्या बताना है बताओ, ये बच्चों वाला चीज है, लेकिन क्या है कस्टम है, तो कस्टम को तो पूरा करना पड़ेगा ना. जैसे हम पूजा करते हैं ना, पूजा करने के समय गणेश जी को पूजा करना ही पड़ेगा, पहले कस्टम है. उसी प्रकार से length symbol for is L, it is meter, mass M, kg, time T, second, temperature capital T, Kelvin, K, number of substance, amount of substance N, mole, luminous intensity, which is IV, candela, CD. Let us go down. Yes, this is interesting. इसमें क्या क्वेश्चन पूछते हैं ज्यादातर कंपटीशन में कि जो यूनिट ऑफ लेंथ, द यूनिट ऑफ लेंथ कैन बी डिफाइंड एज, और एक फर्स्ट ये कोई एक डेफिनेशन दे देगा जो कि सही होगा, और बाकी डेफिनेशन में क्या करेंगे, कुछ ना कुछ वर्ड इसमें कोई ना कोई नंबर चेंज कर देंगे। जिसने इसको अच्छे से याद रखा होगा वो सही टिक करेगा, जिसने अच्छे से नहीं किया है, इसको दिमाग से हट गया जिसका, वो गड़बड़ कर देगा। ठीक है, इसमें क्या कह रहे हैं कि द मीटर symbol m is the SI unit. It is defined as the fixed numerical value of the speed of light in vacuum when expressed in terms of meter per second, where second is defined in terms of cesium frequency. तो कह रहे हैं कि लाइट का स्पीड मान लिया ये है ना 3 × 10⁸, मतलब रफली ये जो अमाउंट है 2997 इतना मीटर पर सेकेंड। सो डिस्टेंस ट्रेवल्ड बाय लाइट इन 1 सेकेंड इज कॉल्ड एज 1 मीटर। इसको मैं सिंपल वर्ड में करूं तो मेरे वर्ड में, हाँ, नॉट फ्रॉम द टेक्स्ट बुक फॉर्म, ये समझाने के लिए लिख रहा हूं मैं। डिस्टेंस ट्रेवल्ड बाय लाइट इन 1 सेकेंड, डिस्टेंस ट्रेवल्ड बाय लाइट in 1 second. One by 1 second is equal to 3 into 10⁸ meter. So 1 meter will be equal to what? यूनिटरी मेथड लगाएंगे इस प्रकार से, डिस्टेंस ट्रैवर्स्ड by light in 1 second is equal to 3 into 10⁸ meter per second. Divide both sides by 3 into 10⁸ per second. So if I divide this as this with 3 into 10⁸ per second, and this side also I divide 3 into 10⁸ per second, then per second and per second will be cancelled, this one this will be cancelled,
So it will be speed traveled, no?
distance traveled.
So meter per second.
इसको ऐसे करते हैं, एक मिनट, हाँ वही तो लिखा मैंने, डिस्टेंस सही तो है, डिस्टेंस ट्रेवल्ड इन 1 सेकेंड सही तो है, 1 सेकेंड में कितना ट्रेवल किया, 3 into 10⁸ meter. So we can write 1 meter is equal to 1 by 3 into 10⁸ second. That means 1 meter is distance traveled by light is distance traveled by light in 1 by 3 into 10⁸ part of a second. कितना कम टाइम है देखो, तो इतने कम टाइम में 1 मीटर कौन सा वेवलेंथ ट्रैवल करता है, सब्सटेंशियली सीजियम का जो आउटर मोस्ट इलेक्ट्रॉन है। सीजियम क्या है, इट इज द मोस्ट इलेक्ट्रोपॉजिटिव एलिमेंट, इसके बाहर एक ही इलेक्ट्रॉन है, किस ग्रुप का है ये, हाइड्रोजन, लिथियम, पोटेशियम,
सोडियम पोटेशियम,
सोडियम, पोटेशियम, रुबिडियम एंड सीजियम।
Cesium.
फ्रांसियम हमने देखा नहीं है अभी तक, है ना, यूनिवर्स में 2% है, पूरे यूनिवर्स में 2% है। अब कैसे 2% है आई डोंट नो, बट लोग कहते हैं कि फ्रांसियम 2% है। ठीक है,
तो यूनिवर्स में ना,
पूरे यूनिवर्स में, ठीक है, बट आई डोंट नो हाउ इट हैज बीन फाउंड आउट, आई हैव read समवेयर, आई हैव फॉरगॉटन वेयर आई रेड, बट पूरे यूनिवर्स में 2% है कहते हैं, इसलिए इसको फिजिकली पढ़ा नहीं गया है कहीं। सीजियम पाया गया है, ठीक है, और सीजियम को यूज करते हुए भी देखा गया है, मैंने देखा है। तो सीजियम हाईली इलेक्ट्रोपॉजिटिव है। अगर सोडियम पानी में डालने से आग लग जाता है तो सीजियम तो उससे भी ज्यादा मतलब कि इलेक्ट्रोपॉजिटिव है और रिएक्टिव है। तो इसकी आयोनाइजेशन एनर्जी बहुत कम है, और इसका जो आउटर मोस्ट इलेक्ट्रॉन है, या आउटर मोस्ट इलेक्ट्रॉन जो इजेक्ट करता है बाहर, ये एक लाइट के फॉर्म में करता है, और इसका स्पीड जो है इस प्रकार से, मतलब in 1/3 × 10⁸ part of a second, the outermost electron of cesium exits the valence shell। इतना रिएक्टिव है ये, इतने कम सेकंड के अंदर, मतलब 1 सेकंड तो कितना कम, और उसके इतने पार्ट में वो जो इलेक्ट्रॉन है, वो इलेक्ट्रॉन 1 मीटर ट्रेवल कर लेता है। इसलिए सीजियम से कंपेयर किया गया है। फिजिक्स में जब तक किसी भी क्वांटिटी को हम फिजिकली रिलेट ना करें तो वो डिफाइनेबल नहीं होता। जैसे एग्जांपल, पेन का क्या यूनिट है? पेन का दर्द, इसका कोई यूनिट नहीं निकल पाया आज तक, क्योंकि हमने फिजिकली कभी कंपेयर नहीं किए कि पेन जो हो रहा है कौन सा हाईएस्ट पेन है, कौन सा लोएस्ट पेन है। डेथ पेन, डेथ कई तरह के हैं, डिलीवरी पेन वो भी कई तरह के हैं, लोगों के स्ट्रेंथ वेरी करते हैं, बहुत कोई गोली खाने के बाद लड़ाई करते हैं, कोई बहुत गोली खाने के बाद मर जाते हैं। इसलिए देर इज नो यूनिट ऑफ पेन, दर्द का कोई इकाई नहीं है, क्योंकि हमने फिजिकली किसी चीज से कंपेयर नहीं कर सके इसको। सो मेजरमेंट इज ऑल अबाउट कंपैरिजन। तो सीजियम का जो ये आउटर मोस्ट इलेक्ट्रॉन है, इस आउटर मोस्ट इलेक्ट्रॉन का जो वेव लाइक नेचर है, ठीक है, वेव लाइक नेचर, उस वेव लाइक नेचर का इसका जो वेवलेंथ है,
Sir, but electron has dual nature, no?
सो इस डुअल नेचर के कारण मैंने यहाँ पे इसका पार्टिकल नेचर का एग्जांपल दिया, और अभी मैं इसका डुअल नेचर यानी कि वेव वाला बात कर रहा हूँ। जब हम वेव की बात करेंगे तो ये जो एक कंप्लीट वेव है, ये कंप्लीट वेव फॉर्म करने में, एक कंप्लीट साइकिल को पूरा करने में इसे कितना टाइम लगता है? इतना टाइम लगता है। और ये डिस्टेंस कितना है? ये डिस्टेंस 1 मीटर का है। दैट मीन्स द वेवलेंथ ऑफ द वेव emitted by the outermost electron of cesium is 1 मीटर, ओके, इन दिस मच ऑफ सेकेंड। ठीक है, मैं समझा पाया? इसको थोड़ा क्लियर हुआ? Am I able to make you understand this?
Yes, sir.
अगर देखो, अगर नो है तो नो बोलना, ठीक है, इसमें कोई इमोशनल क्वेश्चन वाली कोई बात नहीं है ना। एज ए स्टूडेंट ऑफ साइंस यू शुड बी आर्गुमेंटेटिव, आई विल लाइक इट, ठीक है। चलो थोड़ा सा और खुलासा करते हैं इसका। ये क्या कह रहे हैं? ये क्या डेल्टा वी है या डेल्टा न्यू है? एनी आइडिया?
So delta nu.
डेल्टा न्यू। तो डेल्टा न्यू समझते हो तो बाकी सब समझ में आएगा। देखो मैं समझाता हूँ। एक तो पहला लेयर का समझाया, सेकंड लेयर चलते हैं ना, समझने की भी लेयर होती है 2-3। तो ये है सीजियम एटम। कोर इलेक्ट्रॉन की बात नहीं कर रहे हैं हम, आउटर मोस्ट इलेक्ट्रॉन की बात कर रहे हैं। कोर इलेक्ट्रॉन जो है वो केमिकल रिएक्शन में टेक पार्ट नहीं करता। ये सीजियम का आउटर मोस्ट इलेक्ट्रॉन है, ठीक है। अब इमेजिन करो इसको फिजिकली, इसको फिजिकली इमेजिन करो कि सीजियम जो है, इस सीजियम का न्यूक्लियस इसको पकड़ा हुआ है किसी धागे से, मतलब नाउ यू इमेजिन दिस एज अ स्टोन, ओके, और ये घूम रहा है, ठीक है। ये सबको पता है कि इलेक्ट्रॉन इन द आउटर मोस्ट ऑर्बिट कीप्स रोटेटिंग इन द ऑर्बिट, ओके, ये रिवॉल्यूशन कर रहा है। अब मैंने क्या कहा, इसको एक स्टोन की तरह इमेजिन करो, पार्टिकल नेचर इमेजिन करो। तो कैसे इसके अंदर पार्टिकल नेचर भी आया और कैसे इसके अंदर वेव नेचर आया। मैंने यहाँ पे एक स्क्रीन रखा है, एक स्क्रीन है और यहाँ पे एक टॉर्च। तो जब यहाँ पे सीजियम होगा तो सीजियम का रिफ्लेक्शन कहाँ पड़ेगा, यहाँ पड़ेगा। जब सीजियम यहाँ पे होगा, नहीं सर, जब इलेक्ट्रॉन यहाँ पे होगा तो उस समय इसका रिफ्लेक्शन कहाँ पड़ेगा, यहाँ पड़ेगा। जब आउटर मोस्ट इलेक्ट्रॉन यहाँ होगा तो उस समय इसका रिफ्लेक्शन कहाँ पड़ेगा, यहाँ पड़ेगा। जब ये इलेक्ट्रॉन यहाँ होगा तो उस समय इसका रिफ्लेक्शन कहाँ पड़ेगा, यहाँ पड़ेगा। जब यहाँ पे होगा तो यहाँ पड़ेगा। फिर यहाँ पे होगा तो इसका रिफ्लेक्शन यहाँ पड़ेगा। यहाँ पे होगा तो इसका रिफ्लेक्शन यहाँ पड़ेगा। यहाँ पे होगा तो इसका रिफ्लेक्शन यहाँ पड़ेगा। कोई रीजन है कि मैं इसे ड्रॉ कर रहा हूँ, कुछ रीजन है? ओके, तो मैक्सिमम हाइट कहाँ पे अचीव हो रहा है और मिनिमम हाइट कहाँ पे अचीव हो रहा है? मैक्सिमा को हम यहाँ पे लिख सकते हैं, ये मैक्सिमम हाइट है ना, यहाँ से यहाँ तक ये स्टोन का मैक्सिमम हाइट है, तो मैं यहाँ पे इसको एज ए मैक्सिमा मान सकता हूँ। दिस इज द मैक्सिमा। मीन कहाँ पे है, मीन यहाँ पे है। मिनिमा कहाँ पे है इसका, यहाँ पे मिनिमा है। तो इसके एम्पलीट्यूड पे मिनिमा, यानी कि जब ये इलेक्ट्रॉन ऊपर से नीचे, ऊपर से नीचे, ऊपर से नीचे, ऊपर से नीचे, नीचे से ऊपर, नीचे से ऊपर, नीचे से ऊपर जाएगा, जब एक साइकिल पूरा करेगा तो उसका एक वेव पूरा होगा। ये एक वेव पूरा हुआ, तो ये पार्टिकल का मूवमेंट है। और ये वेव का ट्रांसलेशन है। तो इलेक्ट्रॉन का पार्टिकल नेचर और वेव नेचर ये क्लियर अगर हो गया है तो राइट इन द चैट बॉक्स क्लियर, अंडरस्टूड। अगर ये समझ में आ गया तो चैट रूम में लिखो अंडरस्टूड।
Excuse me, sir.
यस
Sir, could you please explain how the waves are formed?
यस आई कैन एक्सप्लेन। देखो, whenever any charged particle oscillates, it has electric field and magnetic field with it. जैसे कि इलेक्ट्रोमैग्नेट में होता है। सबसे छोटा सा एग्जांपल अगर हम ले तो जैसे ही कोई इलेक्ट्रॉन या चार्ज पार्टिकल ऑसिलेट करता है तो उसमें एक मैग्नेटिक फील्ड पैदा होता है। दिस एवरीवन नोज। व्हेन चार्ज पार्टिकल ऑसिलेट्स देन मैग्नेटिक फील्ड इज प्रोड्यूस्ड। अब ये चूंकि इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड इज ए वेक्टर क्वांटिटी है ना, इलेक्ट्रिक, इसके साथ एक इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड होगा और ये मैग्नेटिक लाइन है तो मैग्नेटिक फील्ड होगा। तो इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड एंड मैग्नेटिक फील्ड बोथ आर वेक्टर क्वांटिटी, तो उसका डायरेक्शन है। तो चूंकि ये पार्टिकल अपना डायरेक्शन चेंज कर रहा है, इसलिए इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड और मैग्नेटिक फील्ड को ऑसिलेट करेगा। इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड और मैग्नेटिक फील्ड जब ऑसिलेट करता है तो परपेंडिकुलर डायरेक्शन में करता है। व्हाई? बिकॉज यू सी दे हैव ए फेज डिफरेंस ऑफ 90 डिग्री। जो इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड है,
So perpendicular to each other.
yes you see here it is perpendicular. जो इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड है और मैग्नेटिक फील्ड है, दे आर परपेंडिकुलर टू ईच अदर, है ना?
So then it form electromagnetic waves.
yes that is what it forms. ये इलेक्ट्रोमैग्नेटिक वेव भी बनाता है। these waves are nothing but electromagnetic waves. तभी तो हमें लाइट दिखता है ना। we are talking about light. What is light? Electromagnetic wave only. yes you are relating it nicely. ये 90 डिग्री हुआ, तो हमने यहाँ पे किसी एक वेव का बात किया है। तो अगर हम दोनों वेव का बात करेंगे तो वो ऐसा होगा। x, ये y, ये x और ये z। तो अगर इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड इस प्रकार से ऑसिलेट करे, then magnetic field will oscillate in this way. I'll tell you. Magnetic field oscillate in this direction. So this is for electric field. This is the amplitude of the electric field. And this is the amplitude of the magnetic field. और ये 2 dimensional है, and all of these have got a phase difference of 90 degree. So together it is called as EMR, electromagnetic radiation or electromagnetic wave. So whenever any charged particle oscillates, then its electric field and its magnetic field, मैग्नेटिक फील्ड को B से दिखाते हैं और इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड को E से दिखाते हैं। ठीक है, तो यहाँ पे मैंने किसी एक वेव को लिया। ठीक है, ये क्लासिकल थ्योरी के अनुसार मैं दिखा रहा हूँ। क्लासिकल या न्यूटोनियन कॉन्सेप्ट है, जो कि पार्टिकल नेचर कह रहे हैं। और ये जो वेव नेचर है, ठीक है, इसे मॉडर्न
Quantum.
कॉन्सेप्ट भी कहते हैं, प्लैंक्स कॉन्सेप्ट भी कहते हैं, आइंस्टीन कॉन्सेप्ट भी कहते हैं, क्योंकि आइंस्टीन ने दिया था E = mc²। ये एनर्जी का फॉर्मूला था पार्टिकल के लिए। ऑल्सो E is equal to h nu, where h is Planck's constant. So we can write if E is equal to mc² energy, and also E is equal to some Planck's constant multiplied by frequency of light as energy, so energy remains same. So we can equate it as mc² is equal to h. Nu can be written as light by wavelength c by lambda. C and C will be cancelled. We can write wavelength associated with any mass m moving with the speed of light will be h by mv, generalized. where velocity is comparable to speed of light. अगर ऑर्बिट छोटा है तो नंबर ऑफ वेव्स इसमें जो एसोसिएटेड होंगे वो कम होंगे। अगर ऑर्बिट बड़ा है तो नंबर ऑफ वेव्स इसमें जो एसोसिएटेड होंगे वो ज्यादा होंगे। और सभी वेव जो है कंटिन्यूस होने चाहिए, कंटिन्यूस, कहीं ब्रेक नहीं होना चाहिए। मींस the wave cannot become like 1.5 wave, it has to be integral wave 1 2 3 like that. तो जो रेडियस है, जो circumference है 2 pi r, where r is the radius of the orbit, should be equal to n times of the wavelength. So we can write 2 pi r is equal to n h by mv from here. So we can write angular momentum of an electron, momentum of an electron multiplied by radius, angular momentum of an electron is equal to nh by 2 pi. H is constant, 2 pi is constant, n is order of cell, n is equal to 1 for first orbit, n is equal to 2 for second orbit.
Sir, I don't know angular momentum.
Angular momentum, okay. Do you know what is momentum?
Yes, sir.
Momentum is product of mass and
Mass and
velocity for any particle moving in a linear motion, straight line, mass into velocity. Angular momentum is found when any object is moving in a circular motion. So in that case, what we do, although it moves, but its radius remains constant. So we multiply mass, velocity, and radius with it. So mvr gives angular momentum, L. And this is P. Small p is linear momentum and angular momentum is mvr. Chat में क्वेश्चन आया है, I did not understood. Okay, Utkarsh, can you create a question? Best way of making you understand is to answer your question. Can you create a question? आप एक क्वेश्चन क्रिएट करिए, so reply to that, it will become clear. कुछ एक चीज तो मैंने फ्लो में आगे बता दिया, क्योंकि जो टॉपिक्स आप पूछ रहे थे उस टॉपिक का फ्लो में ही आ गया. मींस इट वाज नॉट प्लान्ड फॉर मी टू टीच यू. तो जिसने ये क्वेश्चन पूछा होगा ना कि व्हाट इज वेव, हाउ वेव इज एसोसिएटेड, व्हाट इज डुअल नेचर, उसे समझ में आया होगा. लेकिन जिसने ये क्वेश्चन रेज नहीं किया है, ये टॉपिक उसके लिए नहीं है. मींस एवरीवन विल हैव डिफरेंट टेक अवे. इक्वेशन फॉर्मेशन, ओके, आई विल मेक यू अंडरस्टैंड. इसमें क्लास 11th में फर्स्ट 3 मंथ्स में दिक्कत ही होंगी, क्योंकि क्लास फर्स्ट 3 मंथ्स में ऐसे फॉर्मूला आएगा, फिर डेरिवेशन करते करते इजी हो जाएगा. आप लोग सभी जानते होंगे लॉ ऑफ कंजर्वेशन ऑफ एनर्जी के अनुसार, एनर्जी कैन नाइदर बी क्रिएटेड, एनर्जी कैन नाइदर बी क्रिएटेड नॉर कैन बी वेस्टेड. सो एनर्जी फॉर ए वेरी फास्ट मूविंग ऑब्जेक्ट इज गिवन बाय मास multiplied by square of velocity. Also, energy of light, लाइट का जितना फ्रीक्वेंसी होगा उतना एनर्जी होगा. अब फ्रीक्वेंसी और लाइट एनर्जी दोनों में कोई होमोजेनिटी नहीं है, तो एक कांस्टेंट है जो इसको होमोजेनस बना रहा है, h. h is Planck's constant. It is equal to 6.636 10 to the power minus 34 जूल सेकेंड. तो ये देखो, ये जूल सेकेंड होता है और ये पर सेकेंड होता है. तो पर सेकेंड और सेकेंड करके जूल हो जाएगा, इसलिए h को मल्टीप्लाई करते हैं न्यू से, तो हमें एनर्जी का फॉर्मूला मिल जाता है. तो mc square is equal to h nu according to law of conservation of mass. According to law of conservation of mass, h nu is equal to mc square. अगर यहां तक समझ में आ गया तो उत्कर्ष रेज योर हैंड. स्टेप बाय स्टेप समझते हैं. इज दिस मच क्लियर? इफ इट इज क्लियर देन राइट क्लियर. अगर इतना समझ में आ गया है तो चैट रूम में क्लियर लिखो. ओके. तो एक एक्सरसाइज करना, जब जब क्लियर होता जाए रेज हैंड करते जाना, तो मुझे मोटिवेशन मिलेगा. ठीक है. तो एम सी स्क्वायर कैन बी रिटन एज एच न्यू. अब स्पीड ऑफ लाइट क्या होता है? सी. सी मतलब मीटर पर सेकेंड. और वेवलेंथ क्या होता है? लेमडा. लेमडा किस में मेजर करते हैं? एम से. तो अगर हम सी बाई लेमडा कर दें तो मीटर पर सेकेंड डिवाइड बाय मीटर क्या हो जाएगा? पर सेकेंड. तो पर सेकेंड किसका यूनिट है? फ्रीक्वेंसी का. 1 बाय टाइम पीरियड का. अगर ये समझ में आ गया तो रेज योर हैंड और गिव मी ए थम्स अप और राइट क्लियर अंडरस्टूड. इतना हो गया तो वेरी गुड. नेक्स्ट, अब हम लिख सकते हैं एम सी स्क्वायर इज इक्वल टू एच सी बाई लेमडा. कहां से किया? न्यू इज इक्वल टू सी बाई लेमडा निकाला था अभी हमने यहां से. ये क्लियर है? वेरी गुड. अब एक सी से 2 सी कट जाएगा तो ये हो गया एम सी मास इंटू स्पीड ऑफ लाइट इज इक्वल टू एच बाई लेमडा. तो क्रॉस मल्टीप्लाई करेंगे. सिंपल क्रॉस मल्टीप्लिकेशन. लेमडा इज इक्वल टू एच बाई एम सी. अब जनरली किसी भी ऑब्जेक्ट के लिए जिसका स्पीड ऑफ लाइट, स्पीड जो है लाइट का जैसा हो, तो जनरलाइज कर दिया एच बाई एम वी. जरूरी थोड़ी है कि हमेशा हम इलेक्ट्रॉन की ही बात करेंगे या लाइट का ही बात करेंगे. हम ट्रेन की ही बात कर सकते हैं. तो दिस मच इज क्लियर. यहां तक समझ में आ गया? अच्छा. अब जैसे कि मैंने पहले वाले डायग्राम में दिखाया था, ये कि जो वेव बन रहा है वो इलेक्ट्रॉन के ऑसिलेशन के कारण वेव बन रहा है. The wave formed is due to oscillation of electron. True or false? What I am saying is, electromagnetic wave given out by electrons in the form of light is due to oscillation of charge, and electric field plus magnetic field associated with it. ये वेक्टर क्वांटिटी है, ऐसा करना पड़ेगा हमें. तो अगर हम ऐसा लिखें कि छोटा ऑर्बिट है, थोड़ा उससे बड़ा ऑर्बिट है और थोड़ा उससे भी बड़ा ऑर्बिट है, मतलब एक के है, एक एल है, एक एम सेल है. ये के सेल है, पहला वाला सेल जिसमें 2 इलेक्ट्रॉन रह सकते हैं. ये एल सेल जिसमें 8 इलेक्ट्रॉन रह सकते हैं. ये एम सेल जिसमें 8 इलेक्ट्रॉन रह सकते हैं. ये सब तो पढ़ा था पहले 9th में ही. अब के का मतलब फर्स्ट सेल, एल का मतलब सेकंड सेल, m का मतलब थर्ड सेल एंड सो ऑन। अब अगर छोटा ऑर्बिट की बात करें हम, तो इसमें वेव लेंथ भी कम ही होंगे। अगर बड़ा वेव करेंगे तो इसमें वेवलेट्स ज्यादा होंगे। जितना बड़ा ऑर्बिट होगा उतने ही ज्यादा वेवलेट्स होंगे। ये क्लियर है? दैट मीन्स circumference is directly proportional to number of waves। तो एक वेव को अगर हम लेमडा दिखाते हैं, वेवलेंथ, हाउ मेनी वेवलेंथ्स आर देयर, से वन वेवलेंथ, टू वेवलेंथ, थ्री वेवलेंथ, तो जितना सरकमफ्रेंस होगा 2 पाई आर, उतना ज्यादा एन लेमडा वेवलेंथ, उतना ज्यादा वेव नंबर्स होंगे, उतना ज्यादा वेव नंबर्स होंगे, नंबर ऑफ वेव्स होंगे, where n is the number of waves and lambda denotes the wavelength and r is the radius of the orbit। तो हम बात कर रहे हैं किसका, किसी एक शेल का, से n इक्वल टू 3 की बात कर रहे हैं, ठीक है, और ये मान लेते हैं कि वैलेंस सेल है। सो कैन वी राइट, यहां तक क्लियर है? ओह वेरी गुड वेरी गुड वेरी गुड, यहां तक क्लियर है। तो हम लिख सकते हैं लेमडा इज इक्वल टू h बाई एम वी। तो हम यहाँ पे पुट करेंगे इसको, यहाँ पे वैल्यू को पुट करेंगे तो क्या होगा, 2 पाई आर इज इक्वल टू एन एच बाई एम वी। तो हम क्रॉस मल्टीप्लाई करेंगे तो क्या होगा, मास इंटू वेलोसिटी मोमेंटम, मास इंटू वेलोसिटी इंटू रेडियस एंगुलर मोमेंटम इज इक्वल टू n टाइम्स ऑफ a कांस्टेंट h बाई 2 पाई। h भी कांस्टेंट है और 2 पाई भी कांस्टेंट है। दैट मींस total angular momentum of an electron in a particular orbit remains conserved, ठीक है, means is an integral multiple of any constant। what I mean to say is total angular momentum of any electron in nth orbit or any orbit remains quantized। Remains quantized means it is always integral multiple of n. N could be 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on। Okay, quantized means integral multiple of any constant जिसको हम नाप सकते हैं। So n is the order of cell and h by 2 pi is a constant। This is angular momentum। समझ में आया इक्वेशन कैसे डेराइव होता है? Yes sir, it is crystal clear to me, thank you, very good। अभी क्या है ना कि आप लोगों को लगेगा कि एग्जाम में आ गए तो मैं कैसे करूं। देखो मैं शायद ही बच्चों को कोई पढ़ाता हूं, मैं एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन में हूं, लेकिन जैसे ही आप क्वेश्चन पूछते हैं तो मुझे याद आ जाता है। क्यों? क्योंकि मैंने कई बार कई क्वेश्चन सॉल्व किए हैं। तो आप लोगों के लाइफ में भी बहुत सारा ऐसा एक्सपीरियंस आएगा जिसमें बहुत सारे क्वेश्चन सॉल्व करने होंगे और आपको अलग से एफर्ट डालने की जरूरत नहीं इन फॉर्मूला को याद करने के लिए। जब आप न्यूमेरिकल प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व करेंगे 5-6, तो ये सारे फॉर्मूला जो है ना दिमाग में ऐसे ही चिपक जाएगा। ठीक है, तो फर्स्ट चैप्टर में ही सब कुछ सीख ले ऐसा नहीं होने वाला। हमें एक बार पूरा रिवीजन, पूरा चैप्टर कंप्लीट करने के बाद दोबारा वी हैव टू कम बैक एंड वी हैव टू स्टार्ट सॉल्विंग मोर एंड मोर क्वेश्चंस। एक बार तो एनसीईआरटी क्वेश्चंस हो जाएं, फिर साइड बुक के क्वेश्चन हो जाएं, फिर पिछले साल के जो बोर्ड के पेपर्स हैं वो सॉल्व हो जाएं, प्राइवेट पब्लिशर्स के क्वेश्चन बैंक के क्वेश्चन सॉल्व हो जाएं, एंड देन यू विल नेवर फॉरगेट। द बेस्ट वे ऑफ लर्निंग केमिस्ट्री इज बाय सॉल्विंग क्वेश्चंस। Okay, am I clear? So
Yes, sir.
rate today's class on a scale of 10 in the chat room. It is a task for you now. In the chat room, rate today's class out of 10. How many participants are there? 13 participants are there. So in the chat room, you can write down. You can write privately also. Direct message you can give. Out of 10, how much you are giving? Mayank Bajaj, 10 out of 10. Thank you. Who else? शर्माना नहीं है, मुझे 0 भी दे सकते हो, नॉट ए
Sir, in
प्रॉब्लम।
upcoming chapters, these topics were
सॉरी, प्लीज कम अगेन। You may write down your question. You may write down your question. That is also an option. I am waiting to hear from you. You can write down the question, write down whatever you are trying to ask. क्या पूछ रहे थे आप? Please ask. I am waiting. Preeti ma'am. Somebody was asking me something. Please tell me once. क्या कह रहे थे? Okay, never mind. You can leave your question, whatever question you have. You can leave, as many questions you want to Preeti ma'am. Preeti ma'am will WhatsApp those questions to me. I can either make a video and I can send you the answer, or I can write down the answer and give it to you. So we can communicate very freely, but Preeti ma'am will be there in between. Okay. So allow me to take leave today. May I?
Yes.
Okay.